Hello everyone, my name is Lincoln Steffens, and today I will be talking to you a little bit about myself and my life. So I was born on April 6th of 1886 in San Francisco, California. As a child, I attended St. Matthew's Episcopal Day School, and this is pretty much where I started to show my rebelliousness, and everyone described me as a pretty rebellious child, and these are a couple photos that show you what it looked like. I then went on to attend the University of California, Berkeley, where I studied philosophy. And in 1889, I also continued to pursue my knowledge of culture, and I went abroad to study in different universities in both Europe and France. As far as wealth in my family, I pretty much had it set out for me as a young child. I was the son of Joseph Steffens, and he was a very, very wealthy businessman who provided a very luxurious lifestyle for me growing up, so I never had to worry about any financial issues. In 1892, I returned to New York with only $100 to my name, which of course was left to me by my father, but this was the last amount of money that my father ever gave to me, and he told me that I needed to figure out my life and pretty much get going with my career. And I started working as a journalist in the New York Evening Post in New York, in the United States. And while working here, I became fascinated with the connection between corruption and the government. Shortly after working for the New York Evening Post for a minute, I was recruited by Samuel McClure to work for the McClure's magazine, and I was part of a celebrated muckraking trio along with Ida Tarbell and Ray Stannard Baker. Ida Tarbell, Ray Stannard Baker, and myself were a part of a muckraking trio. And as muckrakers, we were reform-minded journalists in the progressive era, and we exposed established institutions and leaders as corrupt. And by doing this, we basically wanted to show the public the truth about the government and the ins and outs of the government and expose to them the secrets that they were not being told by the government. In 1904, I published The Shame of the Cities, and in this book, I basically brought about the political reform in urban America, and I was appealing to the emotions of Americans. I pretty much just tried to get them to relate to their own personal lives and to get them to understand the severity of the corruption between the government. And I wanted to just open their eyes and get them to really follow me and my crew and my muckrakers to just understand that the government is very, very, very corrupt and get them on my side. Throughout my career, I have published several books, including one that I published in 1905 called The Traitor State, and this basically criticized New Jersey for patronizing incorporation. And I also wrote The Struggle for Self-Government, and here's an example of a hardcover that I wrote, and it was created in 1906. I also wrote an autobiography about myself and my life and the challenges that I have faced throughout my career. Throughout my career, I have faced several challenges while trying to let the public know what is happening between the corrupt government, and while doing so, I faced several challenges with people who were talked down on my writings and tried to make the public stop believing me and turn them against me. However, I always continued to reach out to the public and inform them of the corruption and tried to open their eyes and to let them know that they are still being influenced. As far as my political beliefs throughout my career, I definitely did not agree with those that were in charge of politics, and I think that those in charge were abusing their power and abusing the citizens of their society. Throughout my career, I have made several lifelong friends, including Samuel McClure, Ida Tarbell, and Ray Stannard Baker. Throughout my life, I had two wives. My first wife was Josephine Botekiu in 1891 to 1911, and my second wife was Ella Winter from 1924 to 1936. Me and Ella Winter also had a son, and his name was Pete Steffens, and he was pretty much my family, and they were someone that I both loved spending a lot of time with. I also loved to read and continue my studies as well.